Great day, great day. We are all the way live and welcome to the Black Comic Lords. This here is Tamiko, your favorite friendly neighborhood moderator, Black comic feminist, and all of that jazz. And I welcome you here to our continuing Comic Creators series. We have Angel from the BCL Ladies Live. And we have our guest of honor, rising star at Konkret Comics, Karla Medrano, a.k.a. Moon the Storyteller.
Thank you. Thank
How are
you.
you ladies doing this evening?
Excellent.
Good, good.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Always, always. I am always happy to share with you the great talent that we have going around here, especially in Black Comic Lords. So strap in, have a seat, get your beverage, and enjoy as we talk about the world of Luna, Queen of the Mahru.
Yes, yes.
All right. So, Miss Karla, tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm Karla, but I go by Moon the Storyteller. I'm a wife, a mother to an incredible 10-year-old boy who serves a lot, who's my inspiration. He's my perspective. I'm also a nurse. Nursing is my day job. But what I really love to do is write. I've always loved to write. And I think I had some catalyst, but COVID really helped me slow down and really put everything together and really turn this hobby that I had into something that, I'm considering now my business and my passion, which is writing. So all that culminated into my comic book series, Luna, the Queen of Mahru, which is now available through Konkret Comics.
Awesome, awesome. So tell me, how were you introduced to comic books?
Actually, I'm brand new to comic books, brand spanking new. So I picked up my first comic book after I saw Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa.
Yeah, okay.
As he and his performance, all his performances were inspiring, right? But it was something about his performance as T'Challa that just resonated with me. Because we've had a lot of comic book adaptations. We've had, my very first superhero movie was Batman and then the X-Men. But they didn't do it for me. Not even seeing Halle Berry as Storm, that didn't do it for me. But now I think after in this period of my life, seeing that excellence, that royalty on screen inspired me to turn this character that I have been dreaming about for years into royalty herself, into excellence. So, and then the comic books came. I was like, well, let me see what's going on in these comic books. And I haven't been able to put them down since. So, I'm not haven't been reading comic books for 10, 20 years, but what I'm reading, I'm loving. And I like this new wave of writers, more so than the ones that from 20 something years ago. Cause it's a lot of problematic stuff, from back in the day. But this new wave of writers, Nnedi Okorafor with her Wakanda Forever series back, I think it was around that same time, 2018, 2019. I'm just loving it. So that's how I got into comic books.
Angel?
That is impressive. Chadwick Boseman inspired so many people just because of his character. He was able to push on the screen. So I love that tidbit. Thank you for sharing that with us. With the comic that you've written, the story, has it been, how long has it been with you until you felt the courage enough to share it? That's my question, because a lot of us have stories and then it just, hey, burst out of us. So tell us that journey, that part of Luna.
It like I've been, like I said, I've been sitting with this character for a lot of many years, but I never was inspired to do anything with her until that started, that what happened 3 or 4 years ago with Chadwick's performance. And actually, Luna actually started off as a comic strip that I would post on Instagram. So I use like this little Bitmoji app to create the characters, very simple scenes, and it resonated with people. It really resonated with people, and I was like, wow. And these are people from all over the world. I had people in the Caribbean, I had people in Tanzania, in Nigeria, I had people in the UK, I had people in one of the Indonesia, here in the States. They love this comic strip, and I was like, wow, really? Maybe I should turn this into a comic book. And that's what I did. I turned it into, found a great artist, and we got to work.
Thank you for
Yeah, thank you for that. So what brought you to Concrete Comics?
So when I started working with the artist, he took my vision of Luna to a whole nother level. So one of the covers for this first issue, you see his work where she's in her royal garb and her hair is flowing, and that pinup got the attention right there in the middle there. That pinup got the attention of Onaji Rouse. He's a writer, producer, director, actor, everything. And he's actually the creator of another title under Concrete Comics called Odina, and then now Kandaki. So he actually reached out to me when he saw this pinup of Luna and was like, who is she? What is she about? And he was like, we got to talk. And so after a few meetings with him and at the time, Daniel, who was the editor, I got a chance to meet Lonzo, who's the CEO, and they offered me an invite to join the Concrete family.
Awesome. So, of course, I'm always interested in how women writers, especially Black women writers, get into the industry and how they are treated and how things are going. What kind of background tea, perhaps, you can give to those of us who might be thinking about becoming a writer or trying to break into the comic book industry? So, you mentioned your artist, Ian Sebastian. How well did you get along at first? Because I've heard that many Black writers, Black women writers, have to get with their artists to make sure that they draw Black features and Black women in the way that they should shine.
Mm-hmm. So it was challenging at first because Ian is based out of Asia. So I'm not going to pretend I've been to Asia before. I've never been to Asia, but they do have Black people native to those countries, right? But they're not often seen. They're definitely not seen as superheroes. So I wasn't quite sure how much reference I should give him without offending him. Like, I didn't want to offend him either. But I provided references. I was like, this is how her nose should look. This is the texture of her hair. This is how she should stand. This is how she should stand when she's in the room. This is how she should be. And I gave him references like pictures and images that I love, of course, of Rihanna, Beyonce, of Michelle, and things, different strong Black women, so he could kind of understand the tone I needed Luna to represent. In the beginning, I actually learned a lot about myself. I learned that micromanaging does not work because it stifles the artist. So I was trying to balance, like, hey, she needs to be like this, she needs to be like that, and just allowing him to actually create. And so when I realized that I needed to kind of step back and trust that he understood what I was trying to do with this character, you see issue 1, like it you know, I was blown away by his creativity. So it's a balance. Like you should definitely, if you're getting, you know, getting into this genre, you should definitely provide references for your artists of women black, of any, you know, your black women, black males, that you want the artist to kind of be inspired and um not copy, but just be inspired so they can create from that. But you also have to just trust your team. Like you have to trust the artist, you know, and if you can't trust them, then they're not the artist for you. So now we're at the point where, you know, I'll send him the script. I'll send it to my editor. The editor will give me his feedback. Then I send it to the artist. I send it to Ian, and he's like, no, this not gonna work. This ain't it. We got to do some more right here with this scene. And I'm like, I trust you. And then every single time he comes back and gives me, you know, something amazing. So definitely it's a balance. As a Black woman, it's a balance. You definitely need to give them something to go by, but just allow your artists to create and don't be so, you know, don't micromanage, because the diaspora is so diverse. We don't, like, look at us. Like, we all look different. We all have different textures. We all have different backgrounds. We all have different bloodlines flowing through us. So, you know, we all can look different, and Black doesn't have to look the same. We're,
Right.
we are the source of the world's DNA. So we're going to look different, you know, textures and skin tones and the way we talk and the way we, even the types of food we eat, right? So just strike that balance, you know. That was a long answer, I know.
No, it's
That was
perfect.
a perfect
It's
answer.
perfect. It's perfect.
Perfect answer. So the look, the lushness of it, I really, really enjoyed it, because for me, a comic book has to look pretty before I can even dig into the story.
Same.
So I am pleased, you know, at how beautiful it looks. And it's just, I'm fangirling. I'm sorry. That's just me, because I rock really hard for our people. And then when our people are doing good things in a hobby that I love, I have to let them know. I have to give them their flowers. So I really, really appreciated Luna,
Thank you.
because it being introduced to it when we had the interview with Lonzo Starr. And I'm sitting there going, this is interesting. Let me dig into this and find out about it. And then once I did, and I was so pleased that I did.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank
So
you.
Luna is beautiful.
That is the biggest compliment coming from, you know, the book itself is very multicultural. It's a multicultural experience because my life is multicultural. I have people of all ethnicities in my family. So I wanted to make sure I reflected that in my work. But the lead is a Black woman. And so to get that compliment from you and Angel, that means the world to me, because I feel like it's resonating with the people that I really truly wanted to resonate with. I want everyone to read it, but when I get that compliment from another Black woman, it takes it to a whole nother level. You know, it's like getting that NAACP award versus that Oscar. It just hits different. It just hits different. So
So yes, definitely go to Concrete Comics and get it. Because I only wish I had a daughter that I could introduce all this to, but I have sons, and I love them dearly, and they don't read comics, and it's like,
Oh,
it's for everyone though. It's not just for, you know, it's not just for my son. My son, I was like, this is about you. He's like, I don't see myself in this. I said, don't worry, it's coming. Yeah, there's characters coming that he inspired. So but this first issue, um it's about, you know, it's called The Awakening. This first series is called The Awakening, and there's reasons for those who've read it. You know why I called it The Awakening. There's various characters, particularly Luna, that is awakened, and I'm not going to give it away. Oh, there it is right there. There's a little synopsis right there. So let me get into that. So of course, this is a futuristic story. It takes place in the year 10,000, where humans have migrated to other worlds. The heroes of old Earth are but the universe, true to its nature, has birthed a new crop of superheroes called Energy Keepers. And the Energy Keepers are supposed to keep the balance and harmony and peace of the universe. So some have chosen to do that, others have not. And so our story takes place on planet Mahru, which is Queen Luna's planet. She rules there over millions of people united under one moon. So one day she's minding her own business, and she receives a visitor a visit from someone from the future. And during this visit, she comes to understand that she is the key. She's the only one that can save her world from a threat, that's coming. So that's it. And it's like not, in a nutshell.
Okay. So, Angel, any other?
I did. I wanted to also give kudos and praise because the representation of Luna and her anti-gravity hair. That's how I call our hairs that are able to lay down, stand up, shift. We can sculpt in so many ways, and that's a power in itself. And reading about the inspiration that the character gives to other women of color, the permission of their natural hair, it's so powerful, because everything around us always tells us to conform to one particular way and look, and we've had that fight for so long. So thank you for that, for bringing out such a beautiful and powerful character onto the comic realm for us. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and you brought up an interesting point, is the way Luna is represented in this comic book. So you can see, this is a cover. She looks different than what she actually looks like actually on the pages. Her hair is a different texture. Her eyes are a different look. Her skin tone is a little bit lighter. But then in the book, she looks a little different. And then in issue 2, she's going to stay with that same, kind of that she's going to have a more curly texture, and things like that. And so, at first I was, I kind of struggled with this because, you know, we have this kind of ideal what Black women should look like what we are used to with a certain texture, a certain tone. And if they're not in that box, then they're not Black. They're not Black enough. And I grew up like that. People would tell me I'm not Black enough because my texture, like I have a piece on tonight, but in my natural state, my texture is actually very fine. It's actually very close to what you see there in the cover. Now, as I've gotten older, hormones, pregnancy has changed it. But when I was little, when my mother would put me in the kitchen and press my hair, other Black girls would call me white and say I had a weave hair. So that has carried with me, through life. So when I created Luna, I told the artist, like, hey, these are the references, but I do want to kind of pay homage to that little girl in me. Like, it's okay to have hair that's different. You don't have to have that same texture as your best friend. You don't have to have the same skin tone. You're still Black. You're still Black. So that's why I really love this cover, because this is what some people in this world look like, and they identify as Black.
Absolutely.
So and then when you go inside the comic book, you can see you might see a Luna with her hair up and like, hey, that's how my hair looks when I sweat it out. You know what I mean? So so it was really important to me that I allowed the artist to just create and not be so boxed into this certain stereotypical Black woman, because my hair is not an afro. Like, I don't have an afro. It's a curly, wavy mess. you know, and but my sister, my sister's hair is thick and long. My mother's hair was the same way. I don't know. I must have got it from my father, but you know, we all different, but we're all Black. Like we, you know, and this story has other Black characters as well. Their textures are different, their tones are different. So I really thought I wanted to really capture. That's why I said this is a multicultural experience. I really wanted to capture all of us in this story and in this series.
Understood. But remember, all hair is good hair. Okay?
Yeah.
Do not describe it as a mess. It is
Yeah.
a crown.
Yeah.
It is
Thank
a
you.
crown.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right. So actually, let's go into Luna herself. So she is an energy keeper. And here's a couple of stats for all of you who love stats on that. So describe her level of power.
you. So Luna's powers will progressively manifest itself throughout the series, but she is connected to the moon. And one of those in issue 1, you see that that's not, you know, that's not a spoiler. And her name means moon, so she has a connection to the moon. Um, Luna herself, when we meet her, she's 27 years old. She's the Queen of Mahru. Um, her powers when she's younger, what can I give? I can't give away, but ultimately, I'm not gonna say nothing about what happens, but ultimately, these are her power sets. So she has a connection to the moon, and you know, the moon has influence over the elements, right? So she has, because she'll be able to control water, she'll be able to have influence over animals, she can reflect the light, she can burn bright red. Of course, she's strong, she's super durable, she can fly. And then what I really loved about this power set that I actually dreamed about one night was she can actually emit a biofield from her body that resembles the moon. So, you know, when she feels threatened or when she's trying to protect someone, she can, in a blink of an eye, emit this biofield, and it's like a shield around her, and it's like the shape of a moon. And as she gets stronger and stronger, depending on who she's with, and just like with the moon, you have to be connected. It's connected to the elements, it's connected to the earth. So you'll see that play on different characters. And spoiler, other characters in this story are energy keepers as well. Ours, you know, they have powers as well. And you're going to see that kind of when certain people are around, she's going to be able to tap into certain powers because they're connected. So I'm going to leave it like that. I'm just going to leave it right there. But it's a very interesting story as far as how her powers develop. So I'm really excited about showing y'all.
Awesome. Okay, so let's tap into the surrounding characters surrounding Luna. So next up,
I bet.
Yeah. A little bit.
I bet. Yes. This is the love interest. This character was inspired by my husband. He is of a different ethnicity. And a lot of the traits that you see in this character is my husband. But when we meet Ibek, he's 30 years old. He's very powerful. So his power set. So he carries DNA from a super wolf that gives him enhanced senses, enhanced hearing, vision, strength, stamina, durability. And then we're also going to see, this is a spoiler, but in issue 2, we're going to see the connection between Abek and Luna strengthen. He's going to manifest this telepathic ability to connect to Luna, which allows him. What's that?
I don't know. That's brilliant.
Go ahead.
Because
it's right there on the character card, so I gave it away. Which so this will allow him to penetrate her biofields. So that's going to be an interesting relationship as well. I don't want to give away too much about what happens in issue 2, but they become and if you are into symbolism, if you love like spirit animals, he is the wolf and Luna is the moon. So we know the connection between wolves in the moon in folklore, but also we know that's not necessarily just folklore. We know there is a connection. So that's where I drew inspiration from that.
All right. Next up.
Amari. So we're introduced when we meet Amari. He's in issue 1. What can I say about Amari? Because I don't want to give away it too much. But basically, he also is revealed to be an energy keeper at some point. He is 29 years old. And his powers, he will have the ability to create force fields. He will be able to transfer energy from one person to another. Sort of like a safer version of Rogue. You know, Rogue can kind of take people's life force. He won't be doing that, but the concept's still the same. He can actually transfer someone's energy to another place or person. And of course, he's durable, has super strength, and super stamina. So, but that is Amari. And it was very important for me to have a strong Black male lead in this series. So, but it's a challenge for me because I'm not a Black man. So, my editor is though. So, as we develop, when we get to kind of dive deep into his story, I'll be leaning heavily on my editor to make sure that I'm not saying anything that is not really authentic to the Black male experience. So, yeah.
And I really appreciate his design.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it because I was like, oh, okay, he's cool. I like this.
Yeah, I like his character. Yeah.
So tell your artist that we need prints. We need posters.
Okay. Yes.
All right. Next up.
Okay, this is Kira. So she also is an energy keeper. We do meet her in issue 1. When we meet her, she's 27 years old. She eventually will show her powers as well. And she can manipulate the life force of a creature. So I'm not going to give away too much. That's really all I can say about that. But you'll see how that manifests in this first series. She can fly, but what really makes her special is that she can fly at super high speeds. But she doesn't know it yet. And she's of course strong, has super stamina and super durability.
Okay, and next person.
Okay, so we also are introduced to him in issue 1. When we meet him, he is 33. He is a king on a planet called Mirian. His alias is the Fire Lord. So he's the only character that we meet at his full power set. So he's already, has his full power set. So he can manipulate fire. Actually, he can create fire and manipulate it. He can throw energy blast with the fire energy blast. He can fly. He's super durable, has super stamina, and also he's very strong. So,
okay. Was he the last one? Derek? Oh,
okay. Samira.
Samira.
Well, Samira is the last one. So, we won't meet her until probably issue 4. But she also is she's one of the main characters. She will become one of the main characters. Her name is Samira. She's not as powerful as the others, but she does have a connection to wolves. She's super agile, and she's skilled in hand-to-hand combat, and she has a superior IQ. So she's a genius. She's a genius, but she uses that to her advantage. So we're gonna see how that plays out.
So connection to Ibeck then. Okay.
Oh,
Said too much. Never mind. Cut that out. I said too much.
All right. You gotta read. You gotta stay with me to see how this plays out.
Okay. All right. So that is the character sketches of the main characters in Luna. Okay. Let me rewind back to where I was going because I was going to so many different places. Now, you had mentioned the fact that, of course, you want to represent Black male characters well, and that your editor is the one that helps you to be able to have that voice. Because I've heard so many people sit there and say, well, can she do a Black male character? Can she write a character? She's not a Black man. So, have you encountered much of that in your journey to Luna?
Not those comments, not yet. And if I do, what I say to that is there's a lot of Black men writing Black women characters, and they do it very well. But they just have to know how, they have to use the women in their lives,
right.
So, and there's some white men, we know white men who have created some of the most iconic Black characters.
Yes.
So it's not impossible for me to write a Black male character. That's not impossible, but to make it authentic and to make it that it can truly resonate with someone who may see themselves in Amari, this character, I am going to consult with another Black man. That just makes sense, right? But men do it all the time. Men do it all the time. So we don't say nothing to them.
No.
So yeah.
So, all right. So I expect the people out there not to come crazy at our sister here because we have all of our women characters, all of our women creators, writers, artists. We keep them to our hearts. Okay, we protect them. So don't play that. We don't play that around here. So now I want to talk a little bit, maybe world building, because I'm a reader and I am interested in being immersed into the world. So we're introduced to Luna and her cohorts. Pretty much, they're already fully grown. So is there a point where you might decide to go back in time and see how the world building and see how they were as children?
Good question. So there is a flashback in issue 1. I think you might have the you might have it pulled up, but there is a flashback in issue 1 that shows Luna when she was a little girl with her parents. Later in the series, we do learn a little bit about the history of the planet. But because because we're kind of confined to a certain amount of pages in a typical comic book, I couldn't really show everything that I wanted to really show. But if this was the perfect world and I had a chance to show people the beauty of Mahru, I would show them what it looks like in space, right? Sitting in space, then zooming in past the clouds, going into the atmosphere, coming onto the mountains and the waterfalls and the animals and people just living in harmony. And that's what Mahru is. Mahru is a symbol of the world that I know our world will be one day. It's almost like a utopia. But there was things that happened in order for our ancestors did in order for the Mahruvians to experience that. So I do touch a little bit on it throughout the series, but until I get my animated movie, I won't be able to go deep into it. But Mahru, it symbolizes a utopia that I know our world will be one day. And it's all about taking care of the earth. And this is kind of this. I don't really want to say, I want people to buy the book, but Mahru represents something that I know our planet will be one day, but there's things that we have to do in order for it to get there. So I do talk a little bit about it. And the planet, of course, is the source. The planet and the moon is the source of Luna's powers. And spoiler, when her children come, you'll kind of see that in play as well. So
okay,
yeah, I can't. It's definitely in the background. It's world building, but until that movie comes out, into the universe, it's kind of limited, because I'm really focused on the characters and the themes that they're representing. So.
Mm-hmm. And then a small piece, if I may, about Luna and her parents here. Mm-hmm. They realize just how powerful she is at that point, but they decide to do a thing which it's a trope that I can understand it, but it's kind of troublesome at the same time, where they sit there and say, well, okay, she's going to be really powerful, so let's kind of mute her power. Let's just put this there until she can understand it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As opposed to teaching her as her powers develop.
Right.
So there's a reason for that. In the next page, I believe, I think on that same page, there's a reason why they decide to do that. And they feel that as parents, that is the safest thing for her. But there was a reason, that they decided to do it. And it kind of goes back to what's brewing in the background, so that's all I can, I don't want to give it away.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
You remember that part? Yeah.
I remember. Yes. All right. So let's go on here in the chat. All right. Anybody got any questions, any shout outs? We welcome you to this interview. So let's see here. Okay, we gave most of the beginning shout outs in the early part of the video, but we're going to start it over again here. Okay, so we're going to give a shout out to Keisha.
Yes.
All right. Welcome to Cutthroat Comics.
Cutthroat Comics. They are they're doing good things. They're doing things too. They're going to be coming out with a story very soon, and I chat with them very frequently in the DMs, and just giving them some advice about how to do this, how to do that. So yeah, they're going to be coming out with a story very soon as well. Looking forward to it.
All right.
It's mi esposo. Yes.
Some shout out to the hubby. Hello, welcome. All right. Okay. And Tony Cottrell from Advent Comics.
Oh yeah. He's I want to say he just got nominated for an award. I might be wrong about that, but his work is amazing.
Oh, okay.
Indeed. So, of course, he's also thanking us for this great series. Of course, we do our best here at Black Comic Lords to highlight Black comic writers and Black comic artists.
Absolutely.
You need to have their shine.
Yes.
Okay. Gordon, what's up, Gordon?
Hi, Gordon.
One of our regulars. All right. Frustrated Friend Sports Show. Shout out to you. And of course, H&H, the wizard behind the scenes.
Yes.
Without him, none of this would work. He makes us look good. So every time we're going to give Derek his flowers. All right. Okay. So also here. Oh,
Mary Kane,
our CEO of DCL.
When and where can we get this book? Oh, okay, it's available now. It's on Konkret Comics. And Konkret is spelled with a K, so Konkret, Konkret Comics. And you can go to the website and get Luna now. And of course, you can follow me on Instagram or TikTok at Moon the Storyteller, and it's right there in my bio as well. So, yep, that's the website, and yeah, they can go. Whoever wants to get Luna can head right on to the website under shop. Yeah, shop Konkret. Yep, and you'll be able to find all the titles that Konkret offers. And Luna's there. Of course, Acolyte issue 5 just finished up the Kickstarter, so that will be available soon. My favorite, Kandaki. Kandaki's there. Kandaki is, oh my gosh, I can't wait till Anaji. I can't say a whole lot, but I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. And also remember, the Black Comic Lords also interviewed Lonzo Starr. So if you really, really want to go deep into Konkret Comics, you check out that interview on our channel. All right.
Yes. And Konkret also has some free reads as well. Organic Chrissy, there's a free read from the new character, Organic Chrissy. And she will be releasing her work soon, so I it's a lot of, there's something for everyone on the website.
All right. And we have a comment here from Graffiti University Comics. What are some ways you market your comic books?
Well, you're looking at one way. Reach out to podcasts and try to, interview them or have them, say, hey, I would love to come on your show and talk about Luna. Social media is free. So, marketing, unfortunately, as the CEO of our companies, we have to do it all. So you have to not only create the book, but you also have to market your book. So I always suggest doing the things that don't cost you any money. It doesn't cost you any money to spend one night a week talking about your work to a fellow creative's podcast and their audience. That's one night a week. That's 4 opportunities to market your book, right? That's for free. Social media is also free. You need to be showing up every single week, at least 7 times during the week, talking about your brand. That's the rule of 7 in marketing. Yep. People need to see something 7 times before they make a decision.
Yeah.
So you utilize your free resources, and people who say, I don't like being on social media. Well, then you don't like making money.
Right. That part.
You don't like making money then, and you have to, Beyonce is not Beyonce because she sat back and said, I don't want to do it. I'm scared. She got out, she worked for 20 years, and now she's the top. She can pull in millions. She says, she says, I'm charging you $1,000. Guess what? People will pay it.
Yes, they do.
So the principle is what I'm trying to say is you have to work. Like it's the marketing is probably the hardest part for me. But you have to do it. You have to do it. So do the free things first. Social media. Get on people's podcasts, and then when you know what is resonating with your community, that's when you go hard. That's when you start, running ads. That's when you start building out an email list. That's when you start, sending your press kit to magazines and things. And Lonzo's trying to get me to do all that right now, but I was like, it's hard. It's hard, but he's like, if you want to be, if you want to be a name in the indie comic book world, you got to do this. So,
yeah.
Do the free stuff first and work. You got to work. You got to treat it like a business. Yeah.
Okay. And then shout out to Cutthroat Comics. Okay. Chopping it up in the chat.
Anime. Oh, thank you.
So he's giving us give you a huge compliment there because, people, you know, love Sailor Moon across the world, and we should be able to take Luna worldwide as well.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. Thank you so much. That's a huge compliment. Thank you very much.
Okay, so here, Graffiti University Comics says, can y'all explain how to submit comic books to big corporations? Now, this here is not a big corporation type of deal. This is an independent comic company.
Right.
Okay, because I'm not sure if Karla could give you any insight on maybe submitting your work to Marvel or DC. Chances are you would have to know somebody in those
Yeah.
major ones: Marvel, DC, Image, Vertigo, to even get your foot in the door.
So I want to use Dr. Sheena Howard as an example. She's on Instagram, Dr. Sheena Howard. She is someone I remember investing in one of her programs, and it was how to write a comic book. Like, she taught me like the elements, like how to do outline, how to do this, how to do that. And but in her, she shows up on social media every single week. And I had the honor of having her on one of my Instagram lives. And she said that, people, you have to treat your writing like a business. So if you are trying to write, for example, for the big two, if that's your goal, then you have to show up. Nobody's not going to find you the traditional way. Like, submitting your work, she said, it's probably not going to be seen, right? Unless you know someone.
Right.
So you have to show up on your page,
Mhm.
show up on Instagram Live, show up on the podcast, and get your name out there and let people talk about you. And what she said one time really inspired me. She said that she emailed Marvel several times, no answer. So she stopped. She's like, okay, I'm like, well, that's not what meant to be. For Black History Month this year, she was one of the artists chosen, the writers chosen to write for Marvel. So I say that to say you can definitely reach out to them. I wouldn't submit your work unless they invite you to, because if that could be, it could be fall into the wrong hands. But you can email them, hey, I really would love to write for you. Someone will be watching you.
Right. Yes,
They will be watching you.
Yeah.
They're not going to say, they may not say anything, but they will be watching you, and they're going to see what your work ethic is. Are you building a community? Do you take your work seriously? So, and now she can say, not only has she written for Marvel, but she's written for DC as well. Because when she sends out those emails, she's backing it up with something. She's not just sending it out and then she disappears for months at a time. She's on it every single week. So people are, regardless of what you think, people are watching you.
Yeah.
They are watching your work ethic. They are watching how you move, how you speak, where you show up, who you hang out with. And guess what? This time next year, you might have an invitation to write a screenplay. You might have an invitation to, talk on this podcast or show up here or write for this person. So you have to believe in yourself first. And that's my advice. That's my thing. And as far as Konkret Comics, it is an independent company. I actually had it very easy. I didn't have to submit my work. The art spoke for itself.
Yeah.
So make sure you have a good team. Make sure Make sure that this is the best you have before you put it out on the internet.
Right.
Definitely. Okay, and then of course we're going to come back here. The Cutthroat, the colors in his comic book cover is very beautiful, and it is. So we're going to slide right into the covers for this series.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So that first cover, the cover A right there in the middle. That was one of the earliest pinups that the artist did for Luna. And all I told him was like, she has gold hair and she's pink. Like everything she should have should be pink and gold. And of course, purple is royalty, right? So that was his inspiration. And then you can see that he pulled inspiration from his own culture with some of her features, some of her clothing. And what I love about him, though, the artist, he also is a costume designer. Like these clothes that he's created are amazing. They are amazing. So he just is a storyteller as well. And I'm going to try to hold on to him as long as I can before he gets famous and blows up, you know? So, and then he does the lines in the flat color, but he actually works with someone that he's keeping close to his chest to do the actual final coloring. I don't know what that process is called, but he does the lines and the flat, and then he works with someone to do the final color. The one to the left, I wanted this. He also drew this. I said, I want something like Marvel. You know, I want something epic. I want something to show all the characters. And he decided to kind of, you know, give it a darker feel, just to kind of reflect that, hey, this is something that's, you know, and this is something that is out of this world. Like, you know, this is something you might see in the universe, these colors, the purples and the golds and things like that. And then the one over to the right, I don't know what his inspiration for these colors was, but I loved it. The two-tone. So I loved it. He's just very creative. Very creative. And that's really important to have an artist, is that they willing to do different things. They're willing to kind of push the bar when it comes to their artwork and not do what everyone else is doing.
Awesome. All right. And another question here. Any plans to do any other comic books in the future?
So I yes, I do. I'm going to continue Luna. She actually has 3 volumes. There's 3 volumes to Luna. This first series will be probably 6 to 8 issues. It depends on if my editor allows me to write a little bit longer in some of the scenes. And then there are some stories that I do want to tell in Luna's universe. I would really love to write maybe even just like a one shot for the Zoe's character. Because Zoe is also another interesting character that you'll see that I develop in this series. And then there's spoiler, there's the children. There's the children of Luna. They're going to have their own little spinoff series as well. So, and I hope that this is one day an animated film. That's what I hope. So, you know, that's what I'm really, you know, pushing for. So, but yeah, thank you for that question.
All right. And I'll think my last question. How does Luna fit in on the actual? Is there going to be like a concrete universe where everybody's going to be interconnected in some kind of way?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. Yes.
Right
Yes.
there.
Yep.
Okay. And the question from our CEO, Odinka, Kandaki, and Luna. Who wins?
Uh-oh.
Oh, wow. So Adina, Kandaki, and Luna. So from what you all know, because I know a little bit more about these characters than most people, because you know, me and Anaji, you know, talk about our creative process. We kind of bounce ideas off each other. From what you know now, Luna's power set hasn't been fully developed. So Luna will lose if she goes against Odina and Kandaki at this point. But later, as all of them,
Okay.
later, I was gonna say, right now, Luna will be in the fight for her life right now because she hasn't developed her power set. But later, she will be able to hold her own. That's all I'm gonna say. I can't. Y'all be asking these questions.
Yeah,
I'm about to give
we
away
forget.
You want all the inside scoop.
Yeah,
We forget that, you know, we nobody else really knows this but us. So we have to be careful now. No spoilers. Go to Concrete Comics by Luna.
Yes.
Don't play. Let's support our
Thank you.
sister.
Thank you.
Okay. So let's see the rest of the slides. We're pretty much showing the Concrete universe, and let's have those, Derek. There we go. The Ladies of Concrete. All right. Oh, so that was Odina. So CEO.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is still a bundle that you can get. We did have a sale for Women's History Month. But this is one of the bundles that you can buy. You can buy the first issue of all these titles. So that's 4 issues. You know, you have, you know, whether you can keep it for yourself or give them away as gifts. I mean, it's you can get something for everyone in these bundles. And what I love about these women is they're all different. They're all different. They have different backstories. They look different. Um, they sound different. They each have, but it's all about their journey and coming into their own. And so Luna, I see a question about, Luna's action, will the action side of the comic ramp up? So Luna is very different from Odina and Kandaki. Like, this is not, I encourage people to not compare Luna to the action-packed Odina. Don't compare Luna to this action-packed Kandaki. Don't compare Luna to this action-packed Sister Circle, because Luna's journey is different. Luna is a queen. So she's already in you have to remember, she's already in a peaceful state. So she's not going to be out fighting and punching right away.
Right.
It's a slow buildup. That's a part of the storytelling that I personally resonate with. I like the buildup. It's almost like being on a roller coaster. Like, something about to happen. Like, you coming along, you might go turn here, turn there, but you see that hill coming. You see it. You see that hill coming, and then there's a slow ascension to that, right? And then once you hit it, it's like you're screaming the rest of the way. So that is like Luna. Like, it's not going to be the up. Odina kind of takes you up and drops you back, takes you up and drops you back. Kadaki pulls you in, pulls you out, and it's like, oh my gosh. Luna is that slow ride, but once she starts climbing, you're gonna be hooked. So it's just a different way to tell a story, and I encourage people to separate your expectations. Come in and just enjoy the story and the way that I've chosen to tell her story.
Awesome. Okay. And also from our CEO. All right. Watching with his daughter, who just asked him to buy Luna.
Oh,
yeah.
So kid friendly, because she is a younger side of BCL.
So this is great for kids who are, I would say, 12 and up. Now you can read this book together with your 4 or 5-year-olds, because there might be some things that kind of goes over their head. But no, it's I don't know if she's the little child and the girl's watching, but it's not like other comic books where they show everything. So even if someone's blasted, you're not going to see that happen. The next scene will be them just lying like that, but you won't see that actual act. If parents understand what I'm trying to say, this is perfect for preteens and up. Preteens and up. You can give this to them, and you can be okay. Everybody's covered up. Nothing's flying out while they're battling. Well, nothing's falling off. But if you want to read it with your young child, yeah, I would read it first to see if it's something that you already are kind of introducing to, because you do see kissing, but you don't see everything else, right?
Yeah.
So I would encourage parents. It's a PG-13 book, so I would encourage parents to read it for themselves first. If you are kind of have questions, and see if it's something you can read with your 3, 4, or 5-year-old. But it's perfect for preteens and up because they've already seen everything that they're going to see.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Angel. Any last things? Anything to bring up?
I would just say again, thank you for this. The openness of the storyline where I'm a super nerd. Like I'm into the cosmos, I'm into astrology, I love science. And there's enough elements, like you had mentioned, symbolism, the powerfulness of the characters, the diversity, the inclusiveness of it. So I encourage everybody to order. Just order Luna. If you're a nerd, you're into science, all of those things. This will punch that ticket for you, and you're just along for the ride, for the excitement, and you never know what's around the corner. It's a really good read.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yep, and it gets my seal of approval on the strength of the art as well as the story. Because
Thank
again, if it is not pretty to my eyes, I can't get into it. But this is beautiful. It's lush. I mean, it's get the book. If
Yeah.
if you need permission,
Yeah.
go to Konkret Comics, get the book. Okay, moderator Miko says so.
Thank you.
So we, of course, let's see here. I read in book one, and in book two, will Luna take an active role? Okay, we're getting into spoilers, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well, the series is called Luna, so yes. But again, it's all relative. Like, what do you consider active, right? Because when I'm taking these characters represent something greater. These characters represent the themes of unity, the themes of trauma, the themes of love, and so forth. And you'll see these themes play out. So when I'm writing, I think about what is the best way to show what I'm trying to say. It's not going to be Luna in every scene. It might be another character coming to terms with this, but everything is connected to Luna. And so as the series progresses, yes, Luna will be in almost every scene, but there are scenes that Luna's not in because it's not about Luna's in the background. Luna is the moon. Luna's the moon. But you're not going to see her in every scene because I'm trying to tell a story through these characters. And it's not only about Luna. Some comic books, there's one main character, and they're in every scene, and everything revolves around them. That is not the world that I'm telling. Luna is the moon. So she is connected to everything. But there are other characters, there's other things in this story that I want to speak on as well. Now, will the action continue to ramp up? Will you begin to see Luna's powers? Definitely. But there's things that I want to tell and do. I just don't want to show it to you and boom, that's it. I want you to be invested. Like, I want you to be invested in these characters. I want you to feel the way we felt when Killmonger and Black Panther was at it. Like, we were torn. Like, we knew who we wanted to win, but we were like, man, I wish Killmonger survived. That's how we were torn in that movie. That's why we resonated with that movie. I want you to love every single one of these characters. So I'm not going to put Luna in every scene because I'm doing that for a reason. I want you to love these characters. So when the action does happen, you're gonna be like, man, oh my God, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt you, to get, see somebody get punched, to see somebody to get thrown across the earth. I want you to be invested in every single one of these characters that we talked about earlier in the show. So my storytelling is different, and if you want to come along for the ride, come along for the ride.
All right. And of course, we please ask everyone to support indie comic creators. Always support our Black comic writers, our Black comic creators, our Black comic artists. Always. All right. So we have reached the end of our show. I'm so glad that you were here with us to enjoy and to learn more about this wonderful story. And here is where you can find Karla Medrano. So
I'm on Instagram. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram and TikTok is where I'm at the most. So Moon the Storyteller over on TikTok and Instagram. If you want to email me, that's my email. I do have a little blog I'm trying to develop. I still have a long way to go, but that's my blog as well. So, and then of course, support the book. Go to Konkret Comics and just buy Luna.
Definitely, because I follow her on TikTok, and let me tell you, the amount of content, okay, and the content that's tailored to people who are like brand new, the comics, it's awesome. Follow her, learn, listen. It's great. It's wonderful. All right. And remember, okay, support your favorite comic book series, okay? Pre-order before your final order cutoff. Now, Black Comic Lords always do our best to let you know when the final order cutoff is. So you check out our Facebook groups, Black Comic Lords, Black Superheroes Forever, and you can find out all the information about final order cutoff periods and what to do to support these writers and artists.
Yes.
Go to your LCS, your local comic book shop, subscribe, put Luna on your pull list. Tell them to look, bring Konkret Comics into the shop. I want more of these.
Yes.
So remember always, and the pre-order, okay, pre-order. We pre-order our comics at Black Comic Lords at Things from Another World. So you go check out blackcomiclords.net and you can go there and you can help us out as you pre-order. All right. And next up in our comic creator series, we'll be talking with Morgan Hampton. Cyborg is back, and I can't wait. I'm excited. So please come back to here on Friday, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and we talk to Morgan Hampton about Cyborg.
Wow.
And not only that, come on, you should like it. You should have liked us. You should have subscribed us when you got here.
Right.
So this is what Black Comic Lords do. We have our recurring lives. We have our Wakanda Whiskey and Blurdom with our CEO and his friend Mark. They talk all things comics over a little drinky drink.
Yes.
And then we have Real Talk with Rich, our OG, King Richard the Panther Hearted. He has a lot to say, and you need to hear what he has to say. So on Sundays and Sunday nights, Real Talk with Rich. And then we have the BCL Ladies Live on Saturdays once a month. Come on by, hang out with us, and we talk all things ladies and comics and everything else. And this Saturday, okay, forgive me, I didn't put up the thumbnail or anything, but this Saturday we have a tea party coming up.
Oh yes.
So it's not going to be any type of subject. We're just going to come and talk amongst ourselves, and then you get to ask us questions too. So if there's anything you ever want to know about the ladies, about Bree, about me, and about Angel, you come on by Saturday afternoon, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for our Black Comic Lords Ladies Live Tea Party. Because we're gonna spill a few things. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. Come on by. And then, of course, always check out our recent specials. Check out our recent interviews in our Comic Creator series. Check everything out here at the Black Comic Lords channel. Okay. Oh, we've done them all. We've talked to a lot of folks. Okay. We've talked to Joe Illich. We've talked to Professor John Jennings, who's a Black Comic Lord. He is special to us. And you just have to come, you just come check us out because we did a lot.
You're missing out if you ain't subscribing. Hit that subscribe button.
Definitely hit that subscribe button and hit those notifications so you know the next time we come at you with some more hot fire. Some more hot fire. So here we are at the end. We appreciate you for hanging with us. And this is something special that we do, okay, for all of our comic creators, because you are now a member of the Black Comic Lords family. We rock for you. We roll for you. We ride for you.
Thank you.
It would be lovely if you could give us a little sound bite, to let other people know that you are a Black Comic Lord. So what we're going to do here is, I guess we're going to do two of them. So the first one, I am Karla Medrano, and I am a Black Comic Lord.
I am Karla, a.k.a. Moon the Storyteller, and I am a Black Comic Lord.
All right. And the second one, welcome to Black Comic Lords, and you are your name.
Okay. Welcome to Black Comic Lords. I am Moon the Storyteller.
Awesome. Wonderful.
Did I make the cut? Did I do it?
Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And we are happy to have you. And like I said, now we ride for her. So do not do any foolishness in these streets because I will see
it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me into the family.
Of course. So I am Tamiko. You can find me on all the social medias at BCL Star Dancer Supreme. Come and check me out. I'm everywhere, and especially on the TikTok.
I'm going to follow you.
I'm Angel, A for Amazing. I am on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter.
All right. And like I said, our good friend Bree couldn't be with us tonight, so we just say, please feel better, Bree. We love you, girl, and hopefully you'll be able to hang out with us at our tea party.
Yes.
So come on to the tea party, and we're going to have a good time on Saturday. So remember, buy the comics, read the comics. Don't spend your rent money on the comics.
No.
Don't do it. Stay in your budget. All right. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.